What's up, guys? Back in the garage. It's been a long time. I think the last video I made was when we were in Sand Hollow, which was like May or something like that. It's now November, so it's been a little bit of time. I needed to hunker down, deal with some things, and do that before I could, keep doing extracurricular activities like YouTube and different things like that. Things are going really good now. But anyway, I haven't really done much with off-roading. I've went off-roading a couple times since then, just some small trips. Nothing to the caliber of going out west or anything, but now I'm really itching to get back into the driver's seat and off-roading and all that stuff. Just kind of hanging out in the garage. The Comanche has been pretty problem-free for the past few months. The only thing that is hindering me right now is the rear locker isn't working, and I can't figure out why. The other day, I figured out that the whole system is getting 12 volts of power, but for some reason the locker isn't working. So I got to pull the differential cover off and just see what's going on in there. So yeah, I'm going to do that and just kind of take you along with me and kind of recap on what we've been doing and where we've been since the last time we saw you. So let's get into it. All right, so I'm gonna pull off the old diff cover here, see what's going on. A couple new things. Got a new toolbox from the old Harbor Freight. I had this guy. This is actually Bethany's grandfather's toolbox from who knows when. It's an old Craftsman, and it got the job done. But as you can see, I did like a homemade like liner in here that's coming up, and so now basically this is kind of just like spare parts, specialty things. Then this one is going to be, all the standard tools that I use all the time. So sockets, screwdrivers, wrenches, all those things. Special wrenches that I have to use to get the transfer case out. If you're a Jeep guy, you probably have a couple of those. And then something else I got was this off-road jack. And we have one of these at work. Let me flip her down here. We have one of these at the shop, and, I liked it. I wasn't, blown away by it by any means, but dude, having this here in my shop where I get to see the benefits versus that old Walmart one that I have is awesome. One, it pumps up so fast. And this wasn't given to me, by the way. I bought this. And actually, Bethany bought this for my birthday. So it pumps up so quick, first of all. And then, obviously you've got the attachment that can be put on there to make it a lot higher. And so I can actually pick the Jeep up by the body now because this is so tall. So that's super cool. But anyway, just a couple new things going on in the shop. So anyway, let's tear into this differential. Don't know if you can see this guy and that guy, but they're supposed to be connected. So I would say there be our problem. I mean, I know how to splice two wires together, but I don't really know how to. I don't know if I can just put a connector on that and it live. Because all this is going to spin. And if it gets snagged on one of these ring gear bolts, then we have a problem. I will be back maybe with a solution. Okay, I think I have a solution, but we'll see if it actually works. Okay, so what I've done here, so basically what the problem was is this plug right here can come out like that right there. And when I got to the axle, this plug was just barely like in there like that. And so what that allows to happen is, you can see, if I can focus on it there for you, you can see the wires go through that plug. So when this plug fell down into the differential, the wires fell over into the ring gear and the ring gear bolts. And, you know, obviously those are spinning really fast when you're driving down the road, so it cut this wire. Now, I didn't want to do, you know, your standard, you know, butt connector deal, just because of how much fluid is in here all the time getting sloshed around. So I was like, man, if I just do a little butt connector, is it just gonna erode away? And I'm not an electrician, so I don't know all the fancy different kinds of connectors, but I have these guys, and they're like these little heat shrink deals that have like the piece of metal in the middle that you melt, and it's supposed to be a solder. I know it's not a legitimate solder, but that's what I did in here. So they're supposed to be, the two little red things are supposed to be like your weather seal, and then the middle is the solder. I know it's not actually solder. I know some guys roll their eyes at these things, but it's the only way that I have accessible to me right now that I could think of to connect these two wires again and it not just straight get corroded the first time I drive it. So we're gonna see if it works. Before I put all this back together, I'm obviously gonna cut all the slack out of this and redo some of this stuff, but I'm gonna see if it works before I put all this back together, make sure everything's working, it's getting all the volts it needs, and then I guess I'll fill it up with fluid and drive it and see if it stops working one day. So, yeah. Well, it's still not working. I'm gonna start doing some voltage testing with the new wiring to see if it's all getting the amount of volts it's supposed to get, but all right, check this out. A locker. It's hard to do this with one hand, but we've got a locker. I turned it on the first time and nothing happened, and I was like, what the heck? But I came over here. This is the relay for my locker right here. So switch power comes in, and then power leaves going to the locker on this black wire here. And we had blown this 10 amp fuse. So replaced the fuse. Not really sure why it blew, but yeah, it was blown. So replaced that, and then the locker started working. So super cool. Glad that that wasn't anything too crazy. I mean, it definitely took a couple tries, but we got her whooped, and she's working now, so that's awesome. All right, so for those of you who are still sticking around, I kind of figured I'd go into detail about what I mentioned at the beginning of this video, and that was the kind of hiatus that I took between May and now, which is November. So kind of a long hiatus, especially because we started this YouTube thing and it actually started going really well, really quick. We started getting a lot of views. We started having a lot of great interaction. I was having a lot of fun making them. So was Beth. But in May, my mother got diagnosed with cancer. And I watched a colleague of mine die in front of me. But basically, I just had a lot of stuff mentally that I hadn't dealt with. And so I had to just take a step back from off-roading, from YouTube, from honestly even just driving my Jeep. Kind of weird to say that, but I was just not in a good space. Just wanted to elaborate a little bit because I feel like it's something that nobody talks about in this world. So we lean on Jesus, and that's who gets us through our days. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this little update. I don't know if any of you even care about it at all, but that's just what it is. That's where I've been. anyway, look for some more videos coming your way. We'll be back at it, and we'll see you guys next time.